Hey friends, Gina here with Destination Baby and Kids YouTube channel. I am super excited to be with you today. I am live and in color going over how to do a triple across installation in a Tesla Model Y. So this is a 2022 Tesla Model Y, and this car is incredibly difficult to do 3 across installation, not necessarily because it's incredibly tight, but it's much more a reality of where this component sits. So this piece right here is called a buckle stock. These buckle stocks are stuck in place. They're not gonna move, they're not gonna come out, so we have very little flexibility to do any type of car seat installation. Now, this is not the only vehicle that has this type of issue. I was just in a 2015 Kia Soul the other day, and I noticed that they also have some issues with their buckle stock as well. So the purpose of this video is to explain how to get the 3 across and why, in my professional opinion, the NUNA EXEC, even though it's not necessarily the narrowest seat, is one of the best choices for a multiple across installation, and it's due to the way that the seat actually installs. So I'm going to grab 3 of those, and we're going to get them in both rear facing in this video, and then I'm doing a separate video of them installing forward facing. So let's jump right in. I'm going to grab the car seat right now and get started. Hey friends, okay, so I've got my first NUNA EXEC. This is called Oak, the color, but what I want to sort of hammer home on with any of the 3 across installations is I generally like to start in the center position. I know from doing this car multiple times for my customers, actually this car belongs to one of my customers, that this position and this position are the trickiest, because when we put a car seat here, frequently it covers up this piece. So I'm going to install this, but what I'm actually going to be doing is setting it up and placing it and not completing the installation until the very end. So I'm going to start by positioning this one for rear facing. Now I double check to make sure that these all fit, so I know that they will. Bit of a cheat, but if my cameraman wants to maybe come to this angle to see this portion. I've opened this up for my rear facing installation, and this plate here and this plate here, this is going to be for forward facing, so we're not going to worry about that now, but these plates and the way they clamp down on the seatbelt is the part of this particular product that I think really sets it apart from other seats for a 3 across installation. I am able to have the flexibility to leave things unfinished and move products to the left and right and shift as I need before I make my final clamp down on the product. So this guy for right now, we've got it set up in our deeply reclined, and I'm putting the footrest out really far because my middle position generally is the most gracious for that. And now I'm going to get the next 2 seats to work on. The next position we're going to do is going to be over here. Okay, so the part that I really want to touch on right now is you see that this seat is set up and we have a very awkward approach to this buckle stock. It's probably going to be difficult for me to buckle this seat in, so I'm going to set it in. I'll probably have my cameraman move maybe over to the other side just for that part to see what's going on, because it's going to be futzy, but I'll end up pulling the EXEC this way to get my approach and then centering everything toward the end after I get it buckled. Here we go. Now, I checked with NUNA. These seats are absolutely allowed to touch. They just can't affect the angle and the positioning of the other seats. So yes, with a 3 across installation, frequently you're going to have seats that are touching. Now, I think this seat, if I'm not mistaken, is 18.5 inches wide. So it's definitely wider than 17 inches, which is the sort of generalized rule of thumb for 3 across. But I find that the narrower seats that I use for installations either are lacking in a forward-facing tightness or a rear-facing tightness due to the types of belt lock-offs they use. NUNA uses the correct belt lock-offs in both positions. Okay, so because I have the seat pulled over, like clearly hanging over the edge, I'm able to get that buckle in. Now I'm not leaving it here. I'm going to now slide this seat over to where it needs to be. We are not finalizing anything yet as far as tightening and finishing. But I am neatening it up to make that part of my installation later relatively painless. Okay, these two are set up. This one's in recline position 3, and it's at its shortest foot plate. And I found that that was the best way to puzzle these in together to really get a good tight installation and still accommodate like a triplet situation. Now we're gonna do our last one over there. So as you can see here, this is gonna be an awkward position as well. This guy we want scooted over that way a little bit as much as we can. And I'm gonna get the third one to go in here. We're gonna utilize the same technique as we did before, where we leave the seat pulled over and then shove it toward the center at the end of what we're doing. I'm gonna recline this probably to 3, similar to the other side. Apologize for the highway noise, doing this at the store. So open up, get that out of the way. Rear facing belt path, get that open. And again, obviously we're not doing latches. There's no conceivable construction of reality where that would work. I was gonna compile a list of cars that even have 3 sets of latches. Probably work on that later this week. But as you can see, running my belt through the rear facing belt path, giving myself a ton of room, and getting this buckle connected. So now all 3 buckles are connected. And we're gonna get these positioned and tightened, and you can watch from over there. Okay, so now all I'm gonna do, that I've got these relatively correctly positioned, is tighten each one and close the door to really get my tightest installation. We're not moving an inch from this guy, so now I'm gonna go over to the other side and tighten those 2. And the door will shut. Thanks for waiting. We'll hit this one next. Now people are gonna say, they're not perfectly levelly even. Nope, probably not. And if you can get a 3 across perfectly levelly even in a Model Y, I look forward to watching your video. And you can link it right under mine, and that would be awesome. But for what I'm doing, oof. There we go. Got it clamped. It's locked in. Now we'll get our final guy here on the end, and I will try to straighten it as much as I can. And this one, I'd actually accidentally close the door, but now we'll do it correctly. Scoot that over. Yes, they're touching. It's gonna happen in a 3 across. Close it off. And then obviously with this car seat, we lock off the belts. So we're gonna pull that all the way out. Make sure all of these are fully locked off. Feed that belt back in. And you have 3 functioning 50-pound rear-facing NUNA execs installed in a Tesla Y with the doors closing. So just gonna lock this one off. And you've got all 3. Now, do I pretend this is the world's easiest situation for dealing with children? Certainly not. But I'm tired of sort of the implication that things can't be done. And additionally, yes, there are less expensive rear-facing slender seats. I have other videos about 3 across and why the specific type of clamp that's on this seat for forward and rear facing makes a variety of installations significantly easier than other seats. So is it worth the spend up for an exec? Yeah, in a lot of cases it absolutely is going to be. So now we'll do our video of these 3 bad boys in a forward facing mode. Thank you for watching.